Recent development in running shoes has culminated in a new style of running shoe characterized by a few key factors. The first is this kind of thicker, low-density foam. Another factor is it doesn't bend very much. And then the last factor here is an increased toe spring. This is in comparison to a more traditional style of running shoe with much more flexible sole and not as aggressive toe spring. So we know that these new running shoes work. They produce more metabolic benefit in runners who use them. And we also know that the runners who tend to spend less time on the ground are the ones who gain the most benefit from this style of shoe. So we hypothesize that since downhill running generally correlates with lower ground time and faster strides, we hypothesize that this new style of shoe would produce the most metabolic benefit in the downhill condition. We recruited 18 experienced runners and had each runner run in the uphill, level, and downhill condition with each shoe for 5 minutes per trial. On day 2, the runners returned and ran the same protocol in reverse order. To measure metabolic data, we used the COSMED K5 portable metabolic device. To measure force data and movement patterns, we used a Burtec split belt treadmill and the Vicon Nexus camera system. We used a linear model to determine whether or not the endorphin shoe would produce a greater metabolic benefit across grades. For the part of the study that I'm presenting, we'll focus on the metabolic benefits of the shoe. So because runners who tend to spend the less amount of time on the ground and who use this new style of shoe tend to gain the most metabolic benefit, we expected that running in the downhill condition, which is associated with shorter ground times, would produce the most metabolic benefit compared to the other conditions. However, we observed about a 1.5% metabolic benefit across all gradients, with no significant difference in variation from grade to grade. These results indicate that there's no need to design shoes specific for each gradient. However, they do indicate that there's interesting avenues to study in regards to shoe stiffness, shoe shape, and shoe foam, and how those three factors interact with each other to affect performance. This new style of shoe is so effective in reducing metabolic costs that it has actually caused the rulebook surrounding running to be changed. So it's now the job of developers to work within the constraints provided by this rulebook in order to design shoes in the future.